weekly Dama news. Thanks for joining me for another round of what's going to be happening, or what actually has happened within the past week of kendama. I'm the host, Kendertainment MJ. Thanks for joining me on this live stream. It's a bit late, but here we are right now, in for the Sunday morning, here every Sunday, bringing you a conversation that we can all have in the kendama community about the shit that's been going down. Some of the news, some of the hearsay, if you will, some of the rumors. No, we don't spread none of that shit. But we have a place where we can have some time in our daily grind of playing kendama as well as just living our lives to talk a little bit, get a little nerdy, you know? This is what we want to do. Most of the time of the week, especially on the downtime, I've been trying to focus in on getting those repetitions in for kendama play, for freestyle kendama play, I should say specifically. Catch and Flow is coming up next week. I have entered myself to stand up on that stage and give it my best. It's been a while since I have. The first version of Catch and Flow, when it was on an outdoor, in between, like at the entrance of a mall, I guess you could say, a shopping center in Tokyo, with like a Red Bull Jeep Hummer right next to it, handing out Red Bulls and shit. It was outside. It was super cold because it was like, was it in December? No, it wasn't. It was early. It was like a month after the World Cup. So it was like the month of what shit is that? The 7th month, I think? Yeah. June, July. Any case, it's been a while. I've put myself in that position before to go on stage, do some Catch and Flow shit, because it's just fun. Even though I feel like sometimes it's like, damn, I did horribly when you walk off stage. It's like, oh, I wish I did this. There is that factor, but I want to get more into the headspace of just having a good time. Of course, there's a little pressure because I want to do the best I can, but hey, still putting in the time, doing that shit, watching the World Cup as well. You know, got some Croatian blood in me, half of it. So rooting for Croatia all the way, but living in Japan too. So next one's going to be a good one. Any case, we're not here to talk about that ball. We're here to talk about what this kendama wooden ball is all about. Up in the stories before this, as I was hyping this live stream up, I asked people for some questions. I got a few questions from that, so I'm going to be reading and handling those questions, answering those questions. They're not troublesome. Answering those questions at the end of this live stream, as well as anyone, if you're watching right now, if you have a question for me, hit that little question tool right down there, add a question in, and towards the end, I will be answering them to the best of my knowledge. All right. So we're going to be going into some of the things that I picked up again, and holy shit, there's only 4 things? Damn, MJ, you didn't do enough research for this one. I guess not. But let's talk about some of the people who are joining. Catch and Flow, you guys got to follow the account. They're showing a lot of the information that's what's happening. They have this awesome G-Shock countdown timer. And that's what I've been using. Actually, before I was just using my phone and, just hitting 1 minute, 30 seconds for those qualification round times, because that's what it is. I was like, oh, sweet. And then, within the past few days, within the past 4 days, Catch and Flow posted this. Shitty thing is, though, they kind of fucked up with the time. It's only giving you a minute, and then it just cuts off and it restarts. It doesn't give you the full minute and a half as it says on the timer when it first starts. So it's 3, 2, 1, go. But then you actually only got a minute. So I was playing for a while, and I was like, man, I feel like, sweating already, because it just keeps on. I kept it on a loop. And I'm like, this feels like really short, more than usual. And yeah, it was. So don't use that. Go over to your phone, whatever device you have, a stopwatch if you have, and put in 1 minute, 30 seconds to get the real time. It is really a fun thing to do, and put your place in the shoes of the people who will be going on stage, one of them, and to think how much time you really have. Thinking about all the tricks that you have set and prepared that you want to hit, some things, that are new, some fresh things, some stuff that's like, wow, people, and then also, like, you want to also hit some of those safe tricks, so at least you get a few spikes in there. The worst case scenario, you go out, you totally bomb, and you can't even spike it. It's just a bunch of flow tricks. So it's catch and flow, yes, of course. And there's style, and there's an important sense of the flow. I mean, depending on the players, for me personally, I definitely want to make it flow and make it seem nice and smooth. But you really shit on yourself if you go, you throw a bunch of spacewalk hand roll lines, and you're doing some what is it called? It's called rase hikoke. I know a lot of the Japanese names a lot easier, more than, because that's when I got into kendama when I was in Japan, learning all the names first. Any case, swirl. This seems so weird. Swirl, you know, all these flow tricks, and then going for a spike, and you just miss the spike. It's sad. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. I'm on the side as well as not doing the smacking the tama so it spins as it comes around. So you just stop for a second as it, you know, makes its way back for your final spike, and then it's just pull up spin spike. I think that's just really whack, personally. Even if you do like a triple gunslinger or like double whatever, or late like Ken flip, like, it's just my personal preference. Do it if you want. I don't care. I won't do that. You can totally do that. I think that's an important stance to have on kendama. If you're going to be kind of a little bit, I guess, uptight like I am about some of the tricks, how it plays, I'm totally cool with other people doing it. Do it all you want. Fucking spin the shit like a DJ. I'm not going to be doing it. Just saying. Yo, that's a good question. Where's Rod? That's another one, okay? Getting into, if you're following Catch and Flow, they are showing you some of the seeded players that are coming to Japan. Nick Gallagher is here in Japan. He's going to be here for a while. He's set, I think, to be like here for a year, working for Yamagata Kobo, the company that makes the Ozora kendamas. Legit. Real, like, the heart of kendama players. Heart of what we first started, our first groping of, that's a horrible word to use, feeling of a kendama. First put that shit in our hand. It was probably an Ozora or a TK16, which come from a different factory, but still, sizes and stuff were along the same lines. Any case, Nick is in Japan, so he's there. He's a seeded player. Awesome to see. Super excited. Nako freestyle champ Wyatt Bray. With a Wyatt Bray will be joining, and you all know, I know, the passion that he brings, the love he has for freestyle competition. You know him as being a champ for Kendama World Cup back what was that, Wyatt? Like 2015? The second one? Yeah? He's a new beast, right? And he totally is just focusing in on freestyle, and he is a monster when it comes down to it. There's been other times in the past, Catch and Flow, he comes, you know, he's not a seeded player, spends the time, the money. Shit's expensive. There's a few players from Europe that I've talked to that say they cannot come out to Catch and Flow because it's just way too expensive, which kind of sucks, you know. But still, awesome to see Wyatt coming to bring his style, those down spikes. It's miraculous. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like the seeded players, they almost have like a little more pressure on them because they don't get to like throw down beforehand. When you are going up for qualification and you make it through the wall of all the other players, and you stand above all of them, not all of them, you know, but the other contestants that have tried, and you've made it to the top final 16, that gives you so much energy. There's stress in there too, but in a way, you feel like, I fucking did it. I won. You didn't win, but I won. You know, you made it past a big hurdle, and that really makes a difference. I feel within the morale and the mind of the competitor compared to the seeded players who are seeded most of the time in the competition, just hanging out. Who knows what they're going to be doing? Are they practicing there? Are they focusing on what's happening on stage for the qualification round? Shit's really long, guys. I have to be in Tokyo at the venue at like 11:30 in the morning. I think the competition, when does it start? You know what? Maybe that's not so early, because I think the competition starts at like noon. for a person who signed up and is, paid the $60 to be a part of it, I probably should learn a little more, as well as it's like only a week away. Probably should learn a little more about what the rundown is. I'm focusing on so much of just equipment to bring, what I'm going to film, how I'm going to film it, who I'm going to film. I'm in like getting ready to create a bunch of shit for YouTube mode, as well as, practicing, figuring out which kendama I'm going to be using for Catch and Flow. Wyatt Slay is going to be there. Nick Gallagher is going to be there. Of course, we know the other Western players that will be joining for judging is Tokyo May, TK, from Crom Kendama. We also have KD Kevin DeSoto from Seoul Pro. He will be a judge in this round. Interesting to see where the judges are going to be sitting. That's always a hot topic for the people going there and visualizing the stage compared to where they are and how much they can actually see. Who else we got? We got Ron Dama. Ron Dama's in Japan right now. Mofo, just send it. He's here early. I know that Tokyo Lane is going to be coming around the 5th. Other droppers of names. We got another Chromie from Italy. Davide will be joining. That's going to be dope. Dude is little cat's a monster. He's not little. How old is he? He's probably in his 20s and shit. Damn. Dude's a monster. He was doing a little catch and flow. It was just that freestyle practice, so maybe he's keeping it hush-hush. I'm not so sure. Hey, breaking news. He's going to be joining, and he crushes. He was doing some crazy ass shit. People were like, 1, 2, 3, still flip. He's like, got you. 1, 2, first T, almost gets 3. Ridiculous. People were like, double tray flip. He's like, oh, maybe. Hits it. Crazy. And as well as other seeded players, we got Yasu, we got Takuya from Japan, past champs. Our Takuya was ever a World Cup champ 2 times in a row. That's crazy to think about. Again, Davide came 2019. I remember he was more of the youngin. Maybe that's why I said youngin. And he did all right. Not that great though. And then there's been a few years that he's had enough to come up. I've seen him do plenty of demos over in Italy and Europe, going on doing podcasts or TV spots talking about kendama. He has refined his stage play for demos. And this is one thing that is really important. I think a great advantage for the people who do a lot of kendama demonstrations on TV or whatever kind of demonstration is for an event or some shit, because those shakes, the willies that hit you when you're on stage, those people who have enough experience learning how to handle it will have a definitely better chance of going further in the competition. So I know he has been honing on into giving demos and stuff. So I've got a good feeling Davide is going to make it through, hopefully. Oh, we got Kelvin Wong from Seoul Kendama will be joining. More drops. I mean, there should be announcements coming up, but you're going to hear it here first because it's only a week away. And that's right. So next week for the weekly Dama News, we ain't going to be having it. Hey, maybe I'll be able to figure out another way to do it. Maybe with some of the pros. Who knows? But Catch and Flow is happening. It's going to be dope. If anyone's traveling from anywhere to Catch and Flow to be a part of it, just to view it, hats off to you. Hit me up. We'll hang out. So that's where we're starting, because this is like the big news. This is the big shit that's going down. The biggest competition outside of Kendama World Cup here in Japan, Catch and Flow. The first Kendama freestyle competition tournament that happened, b-boy style, back and forth, no waiting around until it's at after the qualifications. There's some downtime to figure out, so the judges can look out over all of the contestants and see exactly, add up all the numbers and shit, and to see who will be the final 16. It's exciting, a little stressful, but also exciting. So that's what we're going to start off with. Catch and Flow, be on it. Next one, we're going to go over to another competition that's going to be happening beginning of next year. It's holy shit, a week away, everyone. 2023 is right around the corner. Battle at the Border, North America's oldest kendama competition, has announced that they will have an increase Yes, in the cash prize, $1750 as well as, so that's in total. So you're thinking like, oh shit, that's some pretty good little pouch of change right there that you can take home for first place. No, it's actually cut up and split in between first, second, and third, but it's actually kind of dope because I feel like, okay, that would be cool if you were first place and just to get everything, but that does suck if you got second and third and then you got nothing. Like, throw a fucking dog bone. So good on Chado, because Soul is the one organizing all this stuff. Nashville, Tennessee. So Pro Open gets first place $500, second place $250, third place $125, and then Freestyle Invitational. Okay, you can't just join. Catch and Flow. Anybody and their grandma can join. There will be the kendama madam. Maybe. I haven't seen her in a while. But she's the one lady who usually like puts the ken in between her cleavage and like tries to do swing up spike. You guys know what I'm talking about? Maybe. But she usually comes around. She buys stinking rich. And she buys all the kendamas. It's pretty intense. But in any case, it's fully open, so anybody can join Catch and Flow, and that's what kind of like good and bad of it. We'll be seeing where I'll be placing in, depending on whoever is looking at all the contestants, all the people who will be joining for the qualification rounds, and they usually have it like ramp up to, higher style, higher performing players towards the end. I don't know how many groups there'll be. I think like last time there was maybe 4 groups, A, B, C, D, maybe, I forgot exactly. Again, but the first half is like kind of like, okay, it's like, oh, you did like a swing spike, cool, like you're a part of it, that's really dope. Can't believe you spent like $60 to be a part of it, but here at Freestyle Invitational, Battle at the Border next year, Invitational. So it's going to be high-paced action play, which is to see, and hopefully the audience gets riled up for that shit, because it's really a sad sight to be doing freestyle and everyone's just quiet when people hit like 3, 4 tap whatever and they get it, and people are just like, woo, just a little bit. You guys gotta keep that energy. It's like if you go to a concert and you sit in the back, or worse, and you stand in the front like this, get out of here. We want the highest of energy, so this people on stage can feed off of that, especially for the MCs. Oh man, they have a tough job talking, screaming the whole time. But going back to it, Freestyle Invitational, first place gets $500, second place $250 again, and then third place $125. That's really cool to see. More information coming soon, it says here. Dope. Nashville, it's happening January, so be a part of it if you are in the area. Next story we'll be hitting is our last. Do I have to look up stuff now? God. Old Kendama, it seems like they are starting a kendama school, and this is like a question that I was like, I guess that's cool. Old Kendama Club, Old Kendamas, right there. Teaching you how to do Big Cup. You already know how to do Big Cup. Interesting, they have a little like section of like exactly how to grip it from different angles and stuff, pull up. Okay, sweet. People talk about using your knees, but of course, seasoned players never use our knees for pulling up Big Cup or doing an airplane or something. It's important for basics, as well as, this tutorial about Big Cup. Do we have enough tutorials out there? Sweets did a really good job. Kron has a bunch. They have recently taken a turn to just be like really specific about like different types of tutorial tricks. We see Ballins throwing down a bunch of different stuff. Sweets, Kendama USA back in the day, like 20, what was that, like 17, 16 maybe, released a lot of tutorials, beginner, intermediate, advanced, a lot of specific like special like Tony Hawk esque special tricks for each of the players. You got the Turner that it was called and shit. I don't know, cold pizza from Smith, which is he even in Kendama USA? Like, I'm not sure. But Sweets Kendama, they are like another reason why they are definitely seen in my eyes as like numero uno of kendama companies. They just have provided so much, and they got a lot of tutorials out there, and I feel like they've covered the base. They've covered everything. And if you've watched any recently, especially with Josh is like just so good at explaining how to do stuff, and especially with his skills just increasing as he's doing the different types of workshops around the states for schools for the Sweets Kendama Foundation. He's just getting better and better and better, and like honing in on just how to explain movements for all these different tricks to help people get it down better. So Sweets has it down. So Okendamas, here we go, out of Romania. I believe in the past I thought they were like from Latvia. I thought they were from Russia. They're from Latvia, okay? Okendamas, excuse me. So maybe it's like for the Latvian scene. I don't know. But it feels like maybe we don't need to learn how to do big cups. And I think like that's how Chrome has kind of decided to, just every once in a while, if Bonds has something up his sleeve that's like, let's do one about this. And they're usually like interesting, maybe a little high advanced skill level tricks, but they're available. So putting out more tutorials of just like how to do big cups, necessary? I mean, whatever, if you want to put in the time and effort, Okendam was like, yeah, go for it, cool. But there's a bunch out there. In any case, that is all I have. I mean, okay. One that I didn't have saved that I just thought about right now, talking about Sweets Kendama Foundation, when they did their recent fundraiser to raise money, they got enough money. What was it, like 10 grand? And then Matt, as well as Josh, would have to, for 10 kilometers or some shit, have to Mosh Kame, and they should walk around like the Mall of America, Mosh Kame-ing. So that happened, fully lived on Twitch, and it looked like it was cut into like 3 videos. I didn't watch it. I was probably sleeping at the time that they were doing it, but they went in, did it. There's like 3 different videos. I'm guessing that the live streams got chopped, cut. They're out on the move. I know that's like a whole other thing to do, IRL, Twitch streaming. I know people got like shit on their back. It's like a backpack that's just filled with like a battery, and you got like a cable. You're like half cyborg type of shit. So maybe they didn't have that, but still, congrats on raising that much money. Congrats to all the people. Awesome, thanks. I didn't receive anything, but good job on all the people who donated for that cause. Super dope to just spread it out even more. And good on you, Sweets and the Flow Grove, for doing the Mosh Kame. I'm sure those big cups were honed by the end of it. Man, guys, all right. I mean, unless I got anything else, I'm not sure. But we got 4 questions in the tool right there, in the question tool. And I have a few from the story that I posted beforehand. So, got 4. So let's go through them right now. We will be starting off with the people who are here right now in the live stream answering the questions. So let's just get into it. All right, sweet. Thanks for joining. Will there be reviews, rundowns for newer, even older Damas that don't get much showcase? Over for kendertainment, I'm guessing that you're asking. I have been very bad at scheduling and making sure that I film and start doing reviews, rundowns of kendamas. Newer or older, that's a very interesting thing. Would people be interested in watching old reviews of older kendamas? Maybe not reviews, but like you said right there, a rundown, just a little explanation, almost like a history fact. You know, anybody watch like Adam Savage's like Tested, where they just talk about like old ass props and why they were so good? Maybe something along those lines. That would kind of be cool, because I do have a shitload of old kendamas that like I can play, but it's like it's a different beast when you're handling a 2014 kendama and a 2023 kendama. Totally different. But I have plans. I don't have plans. I want to. That's the shitty thing about it. I want to. I have not made plans. I need to make a schedule. My brain is always doing like 5 different things at once. I got a bunch of different projects happening, not only within kendama, but outside of kendama with my illustration, my design, my video work. There's a bunch of stuff, So I need to put in more time, and I'm sorry for everyone who's been looking forward to those. I've been talking about it for a while. I still have boxes of kendamas that have yet to open because I've just been saving and being like, okay, when I do the review, that's when I'm going to open it. So they're coming, or hopefully they will be coming. I need some help. If anyone out there is really good with managing time and schedules, hit me up. Help me out. Okay? But yes, I want to do more shit like that. Yes. It would be cool to see old product. Yeah, I think, it would be cool because I have a bunch, and it's like, the collector side of me definitely doesn't want to just get rid of them. Like, even just give them away, and selling them. Like, I don't think anybody would want to buy them really, because it's like, here's an old Dama. If you were only an old head like me coming up about kendama at the same time that I did, then you'd probably be like, oh shit, that one, cool. Not in pretty good condition because, I don't destroy my Damas, but hopefully I'll be getting more shit in. The end of this month right now, already packed. Beginning of next month, got things lined up. So I got to put it and figure out exactly where I got open spots here and there and do that stuff. Filming, not so bad. Editing takes a good amount of time. And that's where I'm getting pretty swamped at. But in any case, thanks for the question. Roll on to the next one. XLars asked, did you make the art for your hoodie? Good eye, XLars. Yes, I did. It was pretty cool for the art exhibition that I did a few weeks ago. I printed this out, wore it myself. It's a good one. It's, getting cold out and shit. So I was like, hey, I'm going to put this on. It's good. Fits. It's nice. I have one extra. Oh, maybe we can put it up. Hit me up if you're a large, X large. Maybe you're not because you're X large. Any case, let's hit the next one. Can everyone see this one? Here we go. This one came through. If Takio wins Catch and Flow, will he be the first person to double 2 times Kendama World Cup and Catch and Flow? Well, so he's not won Catch and Flow last time. Wait, holy shit. Did he win Catch and Flow last time? I'm sure there's other people out there who understand my thinking right now of like, once the whole pandemic hit, you kind of lost track of what happened in what year. 2020, the big year, everyone's going to be talking about shit, but the world decided not to do that. And then 2021 happened. We are in 22 right now, which towards the beginning of the year was still like a little iffy, depending on where you're living, but now has become more open, even within Japan. So did he win last time? If he did, then yes, he would be the first. Because I just remember, I thought Takio got the, I thought about Yasu. Yasu won. What did Yasu win? No, Yasu won Catch and Flow last time. No? Shit. I believe Yasu got, anyone remember? Other nerds? I believe Yasu got the last one for Catch and Flow. Takio definitely doubled up on World Cup online and then in person. And then Catch and Flow, not sure. We know So Canada almost took a 3-streaker. I don't know what the shit's called, where he got down. He won Catch and Flow. He won World Cup, and then he almost won NACO or MKO at the time. It didn't happen, but we'll see what happens here. Takio did win both in 2020. 2020. Yeah, exactly, right? XLR, like, I think I'd have to go back and double check because shit's hazy within those past few years. Like, I don't even think like I had a birthday that happened within those years. You know what I'm saying? But it will be interesting. It will be really cool to see Takio's destroying. We'll see how he is going to play when it's head to head. When you're doing World Cup, there's still, of course, a shitload of pressure, but the time that you have is a lot more, and it's just you. Where when it's in Catch and Flow, when you're on stage for those final 16, you're bouting versus the other person, there's another emotion that happens for the people watching, for the people playing, I'm sure. And that's why a few players will take the point of not watching their opponent go. This is something that I saw Misu do back in the day. And I was like, oh shit, like that's actually a strategy she's taken right there. Totally not looking at what they do, turned around back to the audience and just like calming, focusing, getting ready for the next. And she took third. Did you ever forget that? She took third in Catch and Flow 2019. Didn't she? Am I fucking it up? In any case, a strategy that's totally there. Any case, we'll see how Takuya does. Here we go. Next one. Any hints on the next Dama Nerds guest? Yes. If you're a Patreon, thank you everyone who's been supporting you. Fucking amazing. Next Dama Nerds guest, if you're a Patreon on that 5 tier and up, you have gotten the email. We recorded a month ago. This past month, I've been doing a bunch of projects, again, outside of kendama, which has really taken a lot of my time. So sadly, I've not gotten around. It's a big one. It's a motherfucking big one. I plan to have it out by the end of this month. Yes. Massive. I believe the longest episode, maybe, no, not the longest. Because that last one with June and Stod was really long. That was like 3 hours. But still, massive, massive episode. We've been waiting for this one for a long time. I can't spill the beans yet. I can't. Whoever knows, knows. Shh. From the stories, nice. That's so cool how it connects. Not weekly related, but what's your second favorite edit ever and why? Shit. That I've made myself? Because if anyone out there makes their own edits, there's a few that stick out, you know? First one, maybe some of that, like, you're like, oh, damn, that one, like, took a lot of time grinding that. Love that. Love the editing, love music or something. But for ones to watch, dude, like, Where We Are and Count Me In were like those two. I learned, like, they were out at the same time. So I forgot which one came out first. Maybe Count Me In, then Where We Are. Yes. Insane. Ballard, Wenatchee Kendama team. If you guys don't know, you have to. That's, again, like the Bible of kendama players that were OGs back in the, now OGs, that were getting into it and creating videos and more of edits, because we didn't have Instagram. It wasn't like a quick clip, here it is, single banger type shit. No, people were spending time either posting clips like a little bit, but with no pizzazz at all on forums like BKO, no, the British Kendama Associated BKA forum, anyone remembers? Or Facebook, because that was kind of taking off for the kendama community, but YouTube was definitely the place where people were making videos. Wenatchee Kendama team, Matt Ballard's Where We Are, Count Me In. Again, Bibles for kendama players, especially for me. A lot of people will also, throw in Bitter Beans in there. People will also throw in Colin Sanders, of course. He was doing a lot of shit as well, which with cinematography and stuff. But something about Ballard stuff, for me, connects harder and like really stands out. Second favorite edit ever and why? It's like, that's, I don't even know. I believe there was, I can't. Because I feel bad. I'm like, almost like if you're like winning an awards and you're like, oh, I'd like to thank this person, and anybody else I forgot. Like, I feel like anybody else I forgot section right now of who to say, because I would want to get it pinpointed exactly. Tough question, tough answer. Tough luck answer, I guess. We're going on to the next one. What is standard diameter of kendama string nowadays? 1.0 millimeters or 1.2 millimeters? Question mark. I have no idea. Is that something that's even stated on packages when I have a package? Is that mentioned at all? Scan this to learn about. Yes, no. I don't think there would be any information exactly that says what the size of the string is. Is there? Is there something in here? Does anybody else know? Live unboxing? George Marshall. Kush. Extra string. Okay. Oh, do I have to pull this thing out? You guys know. Oh, hey, there we go. Extra string. So let's see the extra string. Maybe it says here. Scan to blah, blah, blah. Long cord. Small parts. Choking hazard. You always got to tell the kids, do not put that in your mouth. Comes with a bearing bead. That's a fat bearing bead. No information about what the diameter is, millimeter, of that shed is. Is there a specific, what does it? Is there anything that like makes it different? I'm not sure. People have been talking about, of course, Adrian Esteban's strings being chunky, fat because of the style of tricks that he does, you know, using the string a lot, and having a beefier string will give more weight to it so you can get whips down better. I understand that, but I don't know. I'm partial to satin strings, which a lot of people are like, that shit's 2013, MJ. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm an old man. So I'm not sure. Not sure what the diameter is and what it is, standard. But does it matter? I don't think so. Next question. Is there any way to learn string control for juggles, etc.? Probably mostly, I mean, when you're doing juggles, you're not touching the string at all. So, no would be my thought process right away. But if you're thinking about control of the juggles, that can really differ, and how long the string is will help you out. Make sure that the string stays away and doesn't get so tangled. For me, I'm a tight 3-string player, which I think is not so common for most people because they just play it like out of the box. So example, here's this George Marshall with a string that is ridiculously long. I will be cutting this, or actually, no, I'll be probably switching to a satin string, but look at that. Look at that. 4, 5, 6 finger string. Really long. So, of course, when you're doing any kind of trick, you're going to be doing juggles, you have enough space to be moving around doing stuff. For me, if I got 3 fingers on there, it does get more, you know, what's the word? Tangled up. I'm used to it though. And maybe that's why I'm not so good at juggles. Maybe that's why I've not progressed really. I can get like 3, not 100% consistently, but I'm comfortable with keeping the space of those juggles and the 2 items, the Dama and the Ken, fairly close to one another, which can cause for problems if they bump into one another. But that's how I get around it. Other types of string control, yeah, a long string. I think that will help you just not get it all tangled up, because outside of that, there's no controlling your string. If you want to really make it less of a problem, just get rid of it completely. If you're practicing juggles, maybe it'd be a good idea to just practice without a string to get the feeling down, tossing, or even just use like a juggling ball. If you got hacky sacks, you grab 2 of those shits, try to do that. It helps out. Maybe that will help out then in turn to help you control and know where the Ken is supposed to be, where the Dama is supposed to be as you're doing the juggles. Next question. We could use some Philadelphia gyms for next year. Know anyone that hosts? I personally don't. I'm in Japan, really far away from Philly. But hey, hit up the community. Hashtag. Hit, no, I don't know. I do not know anybody. But there's probably a few people out there who can be of help, of service. Or, hey, fuck it. You make it. Set that shit up. Let people know. Put it out there. Philly jams going down. When? Where? How? Why? It's all trivial shit that can be put together easily. It doesn't have to be something fancy or any of that shit. Just figure out when the day's going to be nice. Figure out a park that we can all hang out at that has parking for people to, you know, park their cars and jam. And then shit will get bigger and bigger. Oh, a little help out for the juggle tips right here in the chat. Practice jugs all the time. 6 to 8 finger string is good for jugs. Make sure your space between the Ken and the Dama stays consistent. Yes, learn how to actually juggle. Column 2 ball juggling is fun. Okay, yeah. Imagine a wall between your Ken and the Dama. No mistaps. Yeah, that's totally it. And that's something that I have a problem with still to this day. To keeping that wall between the two. Some people also will switch off like where the Dama is compared to the Ken. Really awkward. I think Bonds can control it. So there is a sense, and anyone who is probably I'm sure Lisa Kumotsumbata can really do it because she is an actual professional juggler. So she has a lot of better control of her hands, eye coordination, all that shit. So just, PMP, practice makes perfect. So that's what it is. All right. I believe that's it. Oh, some more juggle talk. This is good. This is good. You know, open up and experience other people's take on juggling and doing tricks, learning about them. I taught myself juggling when because I couldn't understand the concept with a kendama. Yes. Okay. When I first started, yeah, learning juggling, just actually learn how to juggle first and then switch it over to kendama. Hacky sack practice. Yep. Get hackies and get 2 hacky sacks and just practice the 1 and 2. It can't be like the traditional juggle where it's the art where you do the arch, you know, it's the back and forth, you know, that's what it is. Any case, D-Pass, that's it. I didn't try juggles for my first year and a half of kendama because they were too hard, pissed me off. You got to know yourself and what your playability is. If it's something that pisses you off, move on. You don't need to learn that shit. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. If you want to challenge yourself and try it, of course, go for it. But don't let it get to you to a point where you're like, fuck this shit. Like, chill, relax, do the stuff that makes you happy. We always talk about like leveling up and getting better. Like it's all about like, that's actually not what it's all about. It's all about just enjoying it, having fun. You can do the simplest shit, the same shit you do all the time. If you're happy with it, then I'm happy with it, you know? If you want to push yourself to be better than you were before, I'm happy with that shit too. I got another one. I'm just reading now, everyone. Everyone ever play a popular Ken? ? I made one and it has the most grip of anyone I've ever felt. Poplar. I can't read it, guys. Poplar Ken. I have no idea. Is that like started the juggling journey? You got to do it. It is a journey. Once you understand it like a little bit, then like for me too, I was like, this is kind of weird. Sue, when we were like back in the day, like learning about it, I could not stop laughing. The way he did it was so awkward. He always like throw for the Ken, like, and then he would like just smack the Dama with no real control, just fucking smack that thing as quickly as possible. And learning about like the wait period, as well as, you know, we had short string, so it's like you didn't have much wait period. But now with a longer string, you can toss it a little higher. You got a wait period, and that's when people start throwing in late Ken flips or like throwing up to lighthouses, you know, because you got more control, you have more time for that stuff. There's a lot to expand and a lot to learn from that. But the best way to do it is, if you can look at people, but the best way is just, you gotta just do it. Aspen, very light wood, poplar. There you go. I've always had the stupid idea of like making a Ken out of like balsa wood, because I would think that would just be like funny. If I break it really easily. We're done? I know. Yes, we are. Okay, that's it, everyone. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. This was Weekly Dama News. I'll be posting last week. Sorry, I was just getting to it just right before this live stream, posting up last week's episode because, yes, I put it out on the podcast as a podcast so everyone can just listen to this shit and enjoy it as they're doing whatever they need to do, if they're driving, doing some work or something, as well as posting it up on YouTube. I got a Weekly Dama News YouTube channel that you can go check out and watch this shit, because Instagram is super hard to like scroll if you've left off or something. So go show that shit some love, subscribe, leave comments, like and stuff. We'll be posting more there. That's it for this one, everyone. If you want to support me, you can do it on Patreon. There's a link in the bio right over here on the Kendertainment Instagram page. Thank you again so much for everyone who is supporting and continues to support. Thank you for everyone who's thinking about it. Thank you for everyone who just listens, who likes this shit, who shares it with other Dama nerds that they have in their life, to just keep the ball rolling. See what I did there? We'll see you on the next episode of Weekly Dama News. It will not be next week because that's catch and flow time. It's just going to be nuts. So it'll be the following week. But, you know, Rod's here. Pros are here. We're going to be getting a shitload more Dama Nerds eps. I'm going to have my hands filled. So be on the lookout for some good shit. That's it. Have a good one, guys. Keep it clean.